Hi everyone, I'm Dave, KE2D, the Hillbilly Ham, and you're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table.
Hey everybody, Punk Rock Ham Radio here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You are watching the Ham Radio Kids Table. Have a seat, enjoy your dinner, don't forget to eat your vegetables. Seriously, eat your vegetables.
What is going on, yo? I'm Frank KG5AHJ, and I'm Tank Radio, and you're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table.
Hi, I'm Julie, KJ4ULZ, one half of POTA Power. You are watching Ham Radio Kids Table. POTA Power on!
Hey, it's Jeff, Kilo 3, Juliet Romeo Zulu, and you're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table. It's no longer your grandfather's ham radio.
Alrighty, there we go. Happy Wednesday, right? Today Wednesday.
Good after evening, noon.
Hey, Tim, at least it wasn't me this week.
That's true. You know, Vince is like, guys, I'm sorry, I'm still out on the road. I'm not going to be able to make it. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, we got Dane in the truck.
No excuse.
That's what I'm saying.
Excuse.
What I'm saying, I'm like, golly, man.
So in Vince's defense, he is on assignment in the remote northern Alberta territory, and he might have some fun times coming back when he gets back. Just saying.
You gotta be on the ball.
It's Canada. It's not a third world country. They have cell phone service.
Not in northern Alberta.
Once you go like 300, 500 miles past the border with Canada and the U.S., the signal drops.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, what do those guys do for field day up there? Field day.
They just go outside, walk a mile or so, and they're in the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could probably just walk out their back door.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna
there
say
you go.
back door, but I said walk a little bit further.
Okay.
And apparently Mike can't drop in either, but at least he's in the chat.
Yeah, well, that's Mike.
He's used that excuse a couple times.
He always
Yeah,
uses
just
that
a few.
excuse.
Man. What is well, first of all, thank you guys, everybody, for joining us tonight. We've got Sebastian with us, and one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was primarily portable logging with field day. I mean, everybody, if you're with a club, they've got all their stuff set up, but I'm kind of guy that I'm just going to go off and I'm going to do my own thing, and do that. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about is because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's just going to go off and do their own thing, whether they've got other obligations and they've only got a small period of time to operate, or they're not big on clubs, because there are some people that literally take this too seriously. And so I wanted to do that instead of having to log your laptop out, right? Which is something that, a lot of people do. It takes up extra battery space. You can utilize your cell phone, a tablet, and other ways to do it. So I did want to, I went through the big three: POLO, Hammers, and World Radio League. Best I can tell, World Radio League has a thing that you can log into and does all the logging for field day, I'm not sure if you, I feel like you have to be logged in. I couldn't see where you could run that just remote. So you could probably do it
if you can do it on the phone, only on the web interface, I think.
On the web interface, yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know if that requires you to take a laptop with you out in the field, or if you can run that through your tablet or phone remotely through a web interface. I looked at hammers, and we can dig into that a little bit more. There's a way to do some custom backends, templates. Is that the right word, Sebastian?
Yeah,
templates.
I think so.
Custom template. But I didn't see anything for ARRL section or your class, or not yours specifically, but the other station. So I don't know. So maybe somebody, if they can dig a little bit deeper, and we can.
And I think it has a winter field day template that would work, except you'll have to clean up the Cabrillo file at the end a little bit, and the scoring might not be correct, but it's about sections and classes, so the exchange is the same.
Okay. So with that, well, you mentioned Cabrillo format. Does the ARRL only accept the Cabrillo format, or are they? I think ADIF.
I think they accept ADIF actually.
Okay.
But field day in particular is not a contest. Let's not call it a contest.
It's not a contest.
Don't do contest level scoring. They don't verify your QSOs. They just want to get the count, I guess, from somewhere. So I don't. I'm actually thinking now. I'm not sure if they accept Cabrillo. It might only be ADIF. But I mean, it's one or the other.
So looking at their field day website, it says Cabrillo log or list of stations work by band and mode.
So not ADIF, but Cabrillo.
No ADIF.
That makes sense.
No, contests always use Cabrillo, so.
Yeah.
But it's not
a contest.
But it's not a contest.
Contest-like activities.
Yeah, right, sure.
Everyone's a 5'9". Everyone's a 5'9", no matter if you can hear them or not.
It's a practice contest.
It's an event. That's it.
It's an event with
an operating activity.
It's a contest or activity like event with rules like a contest or an event.
So Kevin over on my channel says, I love Polo for hunting from home, saves all the info, puts a line through the parks that he worked, uploads it all to QRZ, easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that is a good goal, because I think, and I've kind of railed on this a lot with, and I think it was kind of evident the last time you were on, Sebastian, is that, it seemed like our software development kind of got stunted in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it just seems like everything that we've seen as a whole in the community until recently has kind of been just a reworking of what's already there.
Part of the problem is that you had a series of apps like N3FJP and N1MM that were good enough. So there was not that much incentive to build something new.
Right.
And I think that the pioneering effort was hammers, showing that you could actually log on your phone.
Yes.
That's what opened my eyes to that possibility. Like, you know what? Logging on your phone, it's not just that it's possible. It's actually that I believe it's even a nicer experience often than logging on your laptop. And in general, the idea of when you do it on a phone, you have to build a much more tighter experience. You cannot just add another window, which is how some of the traditional loggers have solved many of the problems. Somebody says, hey, I would like to see the name of the operator. Sure, we'll add another window that has the name of the operator, and you throw it somewhere in your in one of your 3 30-inch monitors. There will be a window with a name in it sometimes.
Wait, Sebastian, you use 30-inch monitors?
No, actually, I prefer. I mean, my point is that I prefer a slightly smaller, a 24-inch monitor, and I only have one. and my
But-
laptop.
I have 5, so yeah, I get it. I'm like,
It's
who uses 30?
I mean, I get neck pain. You know, it's like it's having to look everywhere for what is it that I'm looking for. The worst is when you get a little something's beeping that you get a notification and you know which of all the tabs, which tab is playing all of a sudden a YouTube video that you were not expecting. So like, yeah, there were apps that worked, and for a while people didn't bother too much trying to come up with alternatives until like the phones became really popular and the tablets became popular and hammers came out and we said, yeah, you can actually log on your phone. Who thought? Who knew? And then like I used hammers and there were things that didn't work for me. And I said, screw that, I'm gonna build my own. And here we are. But I agree that a lot of the software development, there's an aesthetic, very circa 1997, on both the applications and the websites in many cases.
Yes.
Windows NT called. They want their applications back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And MySpace is the commanding look on many of GeoCities even.
You should put a picture of Tom up as the next splash page for Polo.
Yeah.
I don't know who Tom is.
I might do that one of it for
Tom wants to be your friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Do it. Tom wants to be your friend.
Yes.
Do it.
Tom wants everyone to go out and hunt POTA and SOTA and everything.
And do
He really wants to be your friend. On field day too. He wants to be at your field day activity site.
All of them, all at once. He's like Santa Claus.
So one of the nice things I do like about Polo, and I've got a stupid bug that's flying around here, is the ability to do
I thought you were talking about a stupid bug in Polo. I mean, there's
no. I'd hit you directly in the Discord on that one. No, it is the ability to do multiple operations at the same time. And so for people who, like myself, that go out in small group, individual, this is a great opportunity to just roll over to the park, and I can operate as long as I want to operate and get a 2 or 2-for-1 operation, right? So I can go over there and I can run field day. I can do 1E or whatever it is, 1M for the mobile, and just do that while at the same time and not having to announce to anybody, because that's the great thing about POTA is you don't even have to have a signal report. You just got to show that you communicated with another station. So I can just do my field day from the park and not even have to mention it. And I also get the opportunity to take that log and have Polo produce it in the format that's needed for POTA or SOTA or worldwide flora and fauna or one of the 25,000 other different operations that you've created templates for, which is nice. And so that's why I enjoy it. Now I use, depending on the day of the week, sometimes I do it on my phone, and that's more of an impromptu. I'm driving by somewhere and there's like, oh, hey, there's a park, I've done this a couple times. The interstate is backed up because of a wreck. So I'll get on and I'll see, was there a park nearby? I'd rather go do a POTA than sit in traffic.
Opportunistic activations.
Oh yeah. Target. Yeah. Activations of opportunity. So I may not have my tablet with me. That's where I probably do the majority of my logging is on the tablet. And I have both an Android and an iPad, and I like them both. One's a little, once again, it depends, right? If I'm like this last week when I was out in California, I made sure I could do FT8 with me. Hey, fireworks. And so I had the Android.
What happens when you mention FT8 in your setup?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I had the Android tablet with me so I could run FT8CN. And so I was logging on it. But when I do these live streams on Sunday mornings from the park, I use the MacBook because I've already got it there to do the live stream anyways. And I like to share my log so people can see how I'm doing this while I'm doing it in real time. Although I do want to make the disclaimer, at least as far as I know right now, this is still not available for PCs in general. But if you do have a MacBook with one of the newer Apple Silicon processors that will emulate the iPad and allow you to run it on your MacBook.
Yeah.
Is that still
Apple lets you run iPad apps on the new Macs, and that's how you
Yes.
can run Polo on a Mac right now. We're working on a desktop version that will support Windows, Macs, and Linux. That's still not. It's just in the very early stages, so it'll take a few months to get ready. But for now, you can run it on Android, iOS, and Mac, new Macs.
So
just out
Tim,
of
James has a
curiosity-
good James, he has a good question
Hold
here.
on, hang on. Let me embiggen it there. You can take that out of your window, Frank.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see the little tiny print, does it?
So, yeah, he
Isn't
asked
Jack.
about having a log for his mobile activities. You can configure Polo to have you as /m. You can have a separate log for that mobile configured for that, and a log for general operation, and then a logs for when you go to a park or do field day and whatnot. They're all separate.
So let me see here real quick. Speaking of that, I just happen to have
There we go.
mine up here. So to change that under the operator's call sign, you would just literally add your /m in there.
That one you're changing there is basically your main call sign. I wouldn't change it there unless you're doing always /m.
Okay.
You can change it for each operation you start. You can change the call sign there. And thanks to the Polo will, those green options you see at the top is basically based on the last few things you've done. So you can copy basically the settings. So if you do /m, it'll probably have that in the.
I see. So I could do it here inside the operation itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming that then that doesn't change it forever. It just changes it for that specific operation.
Yeah. Actually, guys, I have to take care of something quickly. I really apologize. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Siri, play hold music.
Yeah. The Mario theme song.
Siri, shut up.
No.
No.
Let's see here. It's more like. Wait for it. That should be playing, I hope.
Okay.
What the heck is that?
Stop. Does anybody else find it creepy that Frank has got Thomas the Tank Engine theme music?
Yes.
No, I find it creepy that he has that much control.
I find it creepy that you even know what the heck that was. I had no clue what that was.
I've got 3 kids that span across almost 2 decades. So
tell me you didn't grow up with Thomas the Tank Engine without telling me, Jeff.
I was a kid long before that was even a thing.
Yes, same here.
Long before.
Thomas has been out
I
forever.
didn't watch.
No, he hasn't.
I don't think that came around until like the
right.
early 2000s. But so with that, what he was saying is that we can change it for the individual operation. Now, one of the things that is nice if you do go into the gear and into, I believe, the general settings.
It premiered on TV on October 1984. By then, I was already out of watching TV in the mornings.
That was in the UK. It premiered in the US in 1989.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
I was busy drinking then.
Why do you know that?
It's called Google on the other monitor, Dane.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Moving on. All right. So on the God darn it. If you go to app features, you can go in and turn on various different location-based activities, parks on the air, summits, and worldwide fauna. But if you go down to contest and field operations, ARRL Field Day is one of those that's on there. And there are some other ones, and I've heard some rumors that maybe 13 colonies might be in here somewhere.
It's not a rumor. You might need to update your version. I just updated to the July release.
Okay.
Pre one, and it's in there because I mentioned it during the pre-show.
That's what I was looking for ahead of time there, Jeff, and that's why I asked Sebastian the question before the show as well.
You using an Android?
No, iPhone.
Or, do you have test flight?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get it through test flight. I just opened up the app and there it was. Boom, there it was.
I don't think it all comes out. I don't think everybody gets it at the same time. But
I don't
it might
think
be
so.
a staggered release based
So
on
if you,
something.
Yeah, if you turn on the field day one, that will become available. So when you start a new operation, and we can just go back into this one here. Where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Can you check in your beard?
Could be in the beard.
Tim, did you shut it off and turn it back on again?
I could have. I may have. I might have.
Oh man.
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
So now we have options for field day. One of the things I would recommend if you are going to run a POTA in conjunction with field day, hit the field day button first. Get that set up. What if you put something, whatever you select first is going to show up first. And so if you do the field day one first, that will be your primary. That will be the primary operation, and that's what the primary log is going to show with. So one echo, I think that's echo. Let's see here. Nope,
It's here.
that's a home station. That's
One Bravo, wasn't it?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, one Bravo.
So
Really
the
a
designation,
Bravo.
if anybody isn't familiar with it, one would be the number of transmitters, B is the type. So distinction, portable station versus mobile station. Mobile station would be one that's in your vehicle.
Moving.
And you do not have to do anything to operate it. That's the distinction. So for example, I've got the 891 mounted in my truck with the ATOS mounted to the vehicle. All I have to do is hit the button. So I can do it driving or I can do it sitting still. Separately from going in, I take like the IC 7300 and give me a thumbs up if you're ready, Sebastian. Okay.
That little
Not you, Dane.
domestic, not emergency, but urgent matter.
Yeah. So I can take the like the 705 or the 7300 and throw it on the tailgate of the Bronco, and then string up some kind of a wire antenna. That would be the portable versus the mobile station. Then if you want to run from home, emergency power or mains, or I guess F for emergency operation center. So some of these clubs and some areas groups and stuff like that and races groups have the ability to operate inside of the emergency management center for their county. And a lot of times, they'll work in conjunction with them. And so they have access to it to operate out of there, which is a whole different level and layer of operations and stuff.
So I guess you already started your log for field day.
Yeah, just starting the log for field day. So in my case, I would probably be running at least 100 watts, and my power source is going to be battery.
Yeah.
And then I can come in and I can do parks on the air too. So once again, whichever one you put up first is going to show up first. So these are the two parks that I'll be operating out of. It's a twofer. So now everything in here is really based on the winter or the field day activation, and not my POTA activation. I don't even have to mention POTA. I don't have to say CQ POTA. I don't have to spot. I can just go do CQ field day and have fun and
But if
operate.
you're doing it, and if you can spot yourself on POTA, and
You
if you
can.
happen to run into someone who gives you a park to park, you can give them your park number. They're right there at the very top of the screen, easy to find, in case you don't remember them.
Yep.
Did you enter your field day section? I think you forgot to do that. You have to enter your location.
Location. Yep. So I was going to ask you about this, and I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing it. And this is the ARRL's official sections. Yeah. RAC, which these are all standardized for just about every contest. And for MX for Mexico, DX for everywhere else.
Correct.
When is there any? I see that it turns red if you type in something that's not a valid entry, so it's doing some level of qualification. Was there a
not only that, but there's so yes, the POLO knows what are all the correct sections.
Okay.
But also, and I think that right now, because of if you make the window bigger, it will show exactly where it happens. Because right now, your caption, your name will block that part of the screen. I don't know if it'll show, but enter. I mean, my typical problem with field day has always been when somebody tells me they are in Santa Barbara or San Diego. California has like 6 different sections, and sometimes they give you the name because they're fond of their town, and they say, "Yeah, I'm in Santa Barbara," and you don't know what is the right abbreviation for Santa Barbara.
Sierra Bravo Alpha, SBA.
So if you
real quick, and not, I'm sorry, Sebastian, not to interrupt, but it's a timely thing. Do you know how to tell if somebody is in California?
The accent?
No, don't worry. They will tell you. They will tell you. They're very proud.
Bad California. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Rockland, California.
But so
all my money
let's
Sonoma County, California.
Yeah, let's say you work November 6th, Alpha Radio Alpha.
Or 47.3 miles from downtown Los Angeles.
Okay, that one's fair. Me, no, you don't know.
I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
So let's do a test QSO there. Like enter a call. Let's say November 6th, Alpha Radio Alpha, and skip the. Oh, by the way, if you click the 3 dots that are on the rightmost side of the top, kind of in the center of the screen right there, you can unselect the RST, the signal reports. If you don't care about,
we don't care about those.
You're all 5'9" anyway.
So then you enter
number one rule of contest club. Number one rule of contest club is everybody is a 5'9". Don't waste your time saying anything else.
Yes. Now please copy 1 Alpha, Santa Barbara. So type SAN.
Awesome. See, this is where Tim always has problems in this. So there looks like
there's
to
a bunch with
more.
SAN in the word, so you have to type more if it's not one of those. Like,
but it looks like if I just hit spacebar,
it'll take Santa. It'll take pick SB,
Santa Barbara.
And it will also show it there in green, and it's green because you haven't worked it before.
Okay.
So if you press enter or tap the submit key there, it'll get to the log.
Oh, look
at that!
You
can see Ara there. Yeah.
Ara.
It is 5:30 p.m.
And now you have your checklist. It now shows Santa Barbara has worked. 1 section, 2 points for QSO, so you get the scoring, you get the checklist of sections and Canadian sections, and the other 2 multipliers. Well, not multipliers, but the exchange locations. And Polo, if you type another entry, if you enter another call, and you also now again put Santa Barbara for the location, it'll show in gray because you've already worked it instead of green. You need press the space. So now it shows gray instead of green. So it tells you if it's a new multiplier, if you wish, or something you haven't worked.
Okay.
You can use the space key to move between the fields. So to go from the not if you have it selected, but if but if you press space, it'll go to the class and to the location, and again to the class. You can keep it got select, huh?
I usually use the tab key with my little my pink.
Yeah, the tab works, but some on some device, on some, especially some external keyboards, the tab key doesn't work for some reason. So the space works on all of them.
Jeff's a
pinky.
Tabber. He's a pinky tabber.
And if there's also that P2P button on the bottom center, where you can tap and enter the POTA reference if the other person is at a park and you want to put that in the log. I mean Eastern New York, if you want to be correct.
I
Come on, Tim.
I knew you were in New York somewhere. Hey, do you know how to tell if somebody's in Eastern New York?
They'll tell you.
Tell you they're in Eastern New York.
Yeah, they'll correct you on a live stream.
I'm in New York City.
I don't like them Western New York guys.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
We have
Isn't Mike Western? Yeah, Mike's Western New York.
Yeah.
He's not here either. We could have had an East Coast or a Eastern New York, Western New York rival going on here.
East Coast, West Coast, yo.
They could have been flashing AR. They could have been flashing ARRL signs at each other.
That's the last three of my call sign.
I would change that too. I would. Just saying. But okay, so we can tab through. Now, what about the class? Does it give us? Does it give us any kind of? I mean, I'm seeing validation as far as the red.
It doesn't validate the class.
Okay.
I guess I could validate the letters to save you from a typo. I might add that in time for field day.
You know, I guess it probably doesn't matter, just because you're going to hear that part, right? Everybody's going to be, please copy 1 echo, 1 delta, 1 M, 1 H, whatever that is. And I think that's going to be pretty consistent.
Try not to say please copy. Unless you want to piss off some people.
Well, and that's another thing. If we could get this pushed out in time, could you put a please copy counter in there?
Yes, I was just about to say.
And add this as a side thing.
Yeah.
Side quest.
A side quest in your not a contest. Contest, not a contest. Whatever they want to call it. And add the please copies in there and see if we could get that totaled up in the log and how many times somebody logged a please copy.
Yep. No, I think that would be a good feature.
I feel like we should.
Easter egg.
I feel like we should petition the ARRL to add the please copy as a logging field.
Yeah.
For
I'm pretty sure Kyle would beat everyone hands down.
And we could call it the AA0Z rule
award.
Yes.
Memorial award.
Oh shit.
Oh my golly. Okay. All right. So yeah, the class validation, but so the one I always have problems with, and I guess this was a good thing to know, and I'm glad that it was in there, is I always have a hard time trying to remember what each one of the various sections are, especially because if I don't do it all the time, because really contesting is not my primary thing. It's portable operations with POTA. So I'm glad that is in there.
There's one thing I've tried to do with POLO is when I've done field day, I remember having to put post-it notes and printouts reminding me what's the call sign I'm using, what is the exchange I'm using, the list of sections, all of those things. So one of the things I want to do with POLO is replace those post-its. So I don't, if you notice, your call sign is always at the top of the screen, the park references, even your field day exchange is there on the second line. In this case, at the end, it will say 1 Bravo Indiana. Because sometimes I'm operating. I've said it 100 times already, but then my mind slips, and then somebody comes and calls me. I'm saying, yeah, 5-9, and then I know all I need to do is look up, and I'll find that 1B India November, and I'm done. So I like to put all the information somewhere visible that I can look at, and all in a small screen. Again, not a 30-inch screen that you have somewhere in a corner stuck in a window that might or might not have gone under another window. I try to keep it all somewhere contextually appropriate to what you're doing at the time.
Well, I definitely think the layout is good, and I've watched the kind of the progression of it since I started using it. And I became it. And what did we decide? Am I the unofficial official brand ambassador, or am I the official unofficial brand ambassador?
I think it's unofficial official.
You're just unofficial.
Unofficial official is the right order, I would say.
Is that the correct nomenclature? I know you had to have a board meeting about it, and
that's when you can switch the two terms. Yeah. Okay. Only after the board approves.
Only after the board approves.
You're interim unofficial. Brand ambassador.
The interim unofficial official brand ambassador,
yeah,
of POLO, and well, that's cool. I like that, and I'm glad that's up there. And I've used this before. I also see in here you've also got your points total up top.
If you care about the points, the score, I will. You have 1 park to park. You have only 2 out of the 10 contacts you need to activate the park. And if you go over the midnight UTC and into a new POTA day, then it starts to count anew, and you'd be able to tell if you get your second activation.
And I have seen that operating across the UTC day. Mm-hmm. So you'll have the banner up here, which will change to yesterday's date. And then this will say today, and you'll get 2 running totals.
Yeah, if you tap on say if you type on Aras QSO there in the top line, tap on the line on and then on the bottom tap on the first where that says 0030 01 Zulu, the time, and just change the date to whatever other date, the 17. And click on save. Yeah.
There we go.
So now now you get the 2 days. And as you can see, there's one of 10 in the first day and 1 of 10 in the second day. But for field day, the points accumulate. So you get 2 points on Tuesday, and you're up to 4 points today because it's a 2 for the.
So how would they log any kind of special things that might be, because I think you get some extra points for satellite contacts.
That it's not included yet. The special activities, we don't record them. We just report it when you submit your log. So the points are before you count those bonuses.
Okay.
Oh no.
Everything okay? Dane?
Well.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Everything's fine. Sorry, sorry. It just normally when you have a whole bunch of cops blow past you.
Yeah,
it's never any good.
You froze, and all we heard was
literally what we just had. Sorry about that.
That Doppler was something.
Oh yeah. That's
So
not...
Whiskey Sticks India Whiskey November has got a question. Is there a way to multi-op sync?
That's Bobby.
Not today. That's one of the things I've been working on, a cloud sync service, and also a way of syncing between devices even without the cloud. But it was not ready on time for field day, which makes me sad. But that's I gotta feed the family first, so I didn't have enough time to finish it on time. It would be great. The plan is to have a way for people POLO on their phones with their own accounts, basically share one operation. Somebody will start it on their phone, and then, I don't know, via QR code or proximity, you'll say, hey, I noticed that you're next to a Grayman's field day activation. Do you want to join it? And then on their phone, it'll say, hey, Sebastian is trying to join your operation. Do you accept him? And then from then on, the operation will be on both phones, and you will see it right away. And you would, whatever QSO you record, it'll go on the shared log. That's the dream. It's just not there yet. Or via Bluetooth or via Wi-Fi, phone to phone.
Cool.
Would be the if you don't have internet connectivity, you could do like a local Wi-Fi.
So that would require some knowledge on the back end of setting up networking.
The idea is that it'll be like as simple as exchanging files between two phones. Like, it'll be open your phone. I recognize that there's no internet, but that there's another POLO user nearby, and they have a shared activation. Mm-hmm. Let me ask them to join it. Again, that's what's in my head. I don't do any of that right now. But that's for next year field day, or maybe in time for winter field day.
Well, Bobby's looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward that Bobby's looking forward to it. I'll tell you. So we did this at Winter Field Day. Carlos, Parachute, Jesus, and Alan, Punk Rock Ham Radio, and I all met up at the Indiana Dunes, or the Dunes, whatever, National Park in Indiana on the banks of Lake Michigan. And we did Winter Field Day. And that's also a 2-for and 3-for park, depending on where you're at it. So we did something very similar to this. And we all we basically operated as 3 individual operators and did pass the mic, which was fine, because that way that allowed us to split up when we were done. I had to leave. Those guys weren't going to be there too long, but the way the section works, as long as you're inside the same section, you don't have to start a new log. But I could then start a new POTA activity.
Yeah.
So I could then just, when I got back home, I just went over to my local park, fired up, and just continued operating, and was able to handle the individual POTA logs, but then have one unified field day log for myself.
So James has an interesting point there. Integrate Meshtastic for group or club logging when your group is spread out around a campground and outside a Wi-Fi range.
My only fear is that Meshtastic might not be fast enough for when the log gets really active, but it's not impossible to do. That would be an interesting add-on.
I don't know how big how many bits is your field?
No, the problem is
for each entry would be.
It could be a couple hundred bytes, maybe a bit more, depending on how much data you have. If you collected the name from Curious, but then if you're offline, you don't get that. It's doable, but I wouldn't try to do data sync over Meshtastic, because then it gets complicated, because you need to confirm that the other device got it. It might be, at that point, it's just get close to each other, get a better Wi-Fi antenna.
That's what she said.
Put a Wi-Fi router in the middle.
She said, "Get close."
You cannot be more than 300. You cannot be more than 300 meters in diameter for field day and for any contest activity and things like that. So you cannot be that far from each other.
Okay, so what about multiple operators in a single park that's spread out across, 2 or 3 miles?
In that case, are you really doing an operation together? If you're
Oh
doing
yeah.
if you're doing
Yep.
field day, it's if you're doing field day, you're all close to each other. If you're not doing field day, then each three of you is operating separately.
Yep. There's
If that's the
a
case.
geographical boundary for field day.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Everything has to
Yeah,
fit
it's
within inside of a circle
300 meters, which is about
or a
1,000
box
feet. Yeah.
or a rectangle. Or an
There was
octagon.
there was a ham that we were talking about this, and he's like, "Well, what if we have an operator? Because there's a park here that's stretched out along Highway 1 on the coast." And he's like, "Well, what if we have an operator at this parking lot, and an operator at this parking lot a half mile down, and an operator at this other parking lot, a mile up the road? Would those? Can we use all three of those as one log, as long as everybody
Not-
gets all the contacts?"
Not for field day.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just talking for regular
And-
POTA
and
activation.
For POTA, it's for POTA. There's nothing to stop you from having at the same time.
Yeah,
If you want.
he was thinking one log among all three of them, instead
Yeah,
of being
I
right
mean,
there and having to pass the mic.
Well, the interesting thing about that is POLO makes it very, very, very easy to export your log out and import it into another instance.
You can
Oh, yeah.
combine them at that point. Yeah.
And combine them. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Matter of fact-
so the other than the of thinking if you can use Meshtastic to sync logs from each other, the reliability becomes an issue and it becomes like fragile. But it's like, sure, you could totally do that. But at that point, it's like, yeah, you can probably you don't need full-time sync. Or if you're next to the highway, you might have internet access, and then you would sync over the internet.
Oh, there's no internet out there.
Yeah.
At least in that case. Jory has a good point. Meshtastic has many downfalls. Better to handle the data remotely with verification from the sources.
Yeah.
So I think if you go to Corky QRP's Etsy site, he has a special reflector that you can use to put your phone in or
get
your
better
Meshtastic
signal.
node to direct it. It's a reflector, and it does a great job.
Hannibal, is that still up on the site?
And it's labeled with bow fangs all over it.
Could be.
Now the thing that POLO doesn't do yet, but it's one of my my personal wish list, is the ability to do one like POLO right now works in terms of operations, which is you go to a park, you activate it, that's one operation. You go for field day, you activate field day, that's one operation. An operation can go over multiple days, but it's still one operation with one set of things, of activities and settings. And I want to be able to do the roaming activity, where you start, say you have field day throughout the whole weekend, but you do 3 different parks, or like you say, you have different people operating. You do a POTA roam with 5 parks, or a POTA activity with 3 guys, but then it's only 2, and then it's 4 other people. So basically, an activity that you can change what other apps call the template or the settings, but that an operation that starts one way, and then you can say, okay, break. I'm going to change the settings. I'm going to change what activities and references I'm using for this, and then I'm going to continue. And then POLO will figure out, okay, your weekend activity, your weekend operation will generate 5 different POTA logs, a single field day log, and a separate QRZ log for each one of the operators, so they can import the logs, the contacts they made during that weekend. That is one of the things I want to do. I want to be able to do like a big POTA roam combined with QSO party, for example, a New York QSO party at 5 different parks through the 12 hours.
Yep.
And right now, that would require either 5 different logs for each park, or and the QSO party separately, or you will lose the duplicate for a QSO party. And I plan to do that for New York QSO party this October, so I better hurry up and implement the feature.
See, that's a good thing in the sense that you eat your own dog food. Is that the?
Oh yeah,
I
eat my own dog food all the time.
Yep. So
that's
the advancements that we see are things that you want because you actively go out and do this.
Yes.
This is your hobby and you've built a logging app that goes around your hobby. And so this is all, which is great because I mean this is stuff that people want, but it's driven based on what you want, not something that some marketing person thought might be a good idea to put in a program, which is great.
And I come up with an idea, I add it to the app, and then I go to a local park and I activate and I use the app, and I realize that I got it half right, half wrong, and there's something that still annoys me, and then I go back home, fix it, and then go back the next day and do it again until I'm happy with the feature. I think that there's a lot of things in Polo that are a certain way because I use the feature. It's not just that you need to be able to do field day. Sure, you can do field day, but I also want to do how can I make field day better in Polo? Not just possible, but what are the things that bother me when I'm doing field day? Well, I can't remember the section names. Let me figure out how to put that in the app somewhere. I sometimes forget what is my exchange in the middle of a queue, so let me have it on the screen, easy to find whenever I need it, and so on. It's not just the top level checkbox that says yes, do field day, here it is, or do winter field day, or do QSO party, or whatever. It's like, how can you make it 2 or 3 orders of magnitude nicer by going a bit deeper? And that requires using it. That requires understanding the pain points, the annoyances, the things that you want to do better. I think that's one of the key things on Polo is that I eat my own dog food. I go out and operate with it all the time.
Cool. Well, hey,
so Jory has a good question, Tim.
Okay, well, real quick, Jory.
What license and platform is Polo for? Right now, Polo is built on React Native for iOS and Android. It runs on pretty much all of the devices. There's some problem with some cheap Samsung tablets that have limited memory, free memory, and we built a light version of Polo that works on those. So if you go on the apps and the Google Play Store, you will find Polo and Polo Lite. And the app is open source. It's licensed with a Mozilla public license, which basically lets you do whatever you want with the code. It's a very lenient license. And it's free. You can donate. Donations are more than welcome. I think of Polo as a pay what you want offering. Like you don't need to pay to use it. You don't need to pay to try it. If you like it, I want to make it easy for you to donate money. We get through buy me a coffee on the website, and directly in the app you can also donate. If you go on the settings, there's ways of donating, and I love to get that money. It helps me continue working. It helps me pay for a bunch of costs that come from running an app, services I need to support, even like buying a cheap Samsung tablet so I can test the memory problems there, etc. But the app is free, and it will be free forever. We might in the future charge for services like the Cloud Sync. It'll probably also be open source, so if you want to run your own, you could do that. But if you want to save yourself some trouble, you just pay a small annual fee and you'll get the Cloud Sync. But again, free as in beer and free as in speech.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, what's
Jory,
the best way for people? No, we're just hang tight, Frank. We got to get running. We got a 5-minute window here. So, how's the what's the best Frank. Way for people to get a hold of you?
polo.ham2k.com. That's the best place. And there's a link there to our Discord. That's the best place to interact with us. There's also web forums. There's a links to install the app on Android and iOS, and the manual. And there's also a YouTube channel. Please link, subscribe, like, do all the things you need to do to engage the algorithm. All the links you can find on polo.hamtokay.com.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
And all I was going to say is I dropped the link over in the chat, so multiple times.
Sorry about that, Frank. I did want to say real quick, though, how do you do a homie like that in the left-hand corner? Well, the thing is Frank is short, so he fits underneath the logo. So there we go. But speaking of Frank,
I have to
Frank, real quick. Frank, you got 20 seconds. Tell us what you got going on.
Tomorrow night, NorCal SwapNet. That's every Thursday. Next Friday is going to be CQ Chit Chat. That might be remote on location, though. We'll see what happens. And tomorrow, I turn 37. So for those of you waiting from last week for the big announcement, there you go. That's the big announcement. Tomorrow's my birthday. All the birthday wishes that can go in Discord if you want. That's it, Tim. I'm done.
All righty. Awesome. Dane, what do you got going on?
I'm going to try to get the video on the HOA Buster done this weekend and try to get that up right around Monday if I can get that done. Other than that, got another video in the works right now, just the whole failing thing, which I've been talking about. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't come off as me standing up on a soapbox. You know what I mean? I don't think people need dad advice.
No, but I think failure is a driving force in this hobby, right? Along with a lot of things in life. So it's good that people can see that and see that we all have failures and not everything is going to be peaches and roses. So, Jeff, what do you got going on?
I got the 2,000 subscriber giveaway is still going on, getting closer, slowly but surely.
How many subs do you need?
I need 49 right now, but
let's
get over that hump. But
between the 27 on my channel and whoever's watching on Kids Table, let's get you over that hump. I just dropped your link in the chat, so get Jeff up to that 2,000.
If you don't, you'll lose your chance to win of 1 out of 7 prize packages, and there's going to be a huge, I mean huge, bonus.
How?
I'll throw something in for that prize package. It's a free copy of Polo for whoever.
Thank you.
Boy, you're like
there you go.
There you go.
Sebastian's like Oprah tonight. You get a free copy of Polo. You get a free copy of Polo.
5.9 free
for
copy,
everybody.
5.9.
That's right. And so, but can we get the please copy counter added in? That would be a fun.
It'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
I think I have an idea.
Okay. Yeah, just a little incrementer. I don't know if it can listen. Maybe you can tap into the to the phone, tablet, and just have it listen.
No, you're asking too much. You're to having time for. I mean, there's only 10 days to field day, so it's got to be something I can put up.
Maybe there's a little please copy button, but next to park,
yeah,
P copy. Just put P copy, and it just increments, just an incremental there. So, well, awesome. Well, guys, I was out in San Diego last week, and we had a big flight delay getting out there, so I lost a day of getting out and doing Parks on the Air. Did get there Sunday. They had all kinds of not so great band conditions. I had the 705 with me. So I ended up having to, Too Close for Missiles, switched to guns and pulled out the tablet and switched over to FTA to get my activation. So we got 2 parks activated without any problems. And then went down to the beach. I was with a coworker who wanted to go see the ocean. So we did go down to the Cabrillo, I think, I don't know, maybe something like that. Point Loma. It was Point Loma. And went in down there, but there were way too many people to be doing an activation. So I just moved on. But that was it. Got a chance to do that back here in town. So look for some videos. tonight is Ham Nation, so we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you, Sebastian, so much for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Guys,
dropped
get
the
out,
link.
have fun.
Love the kids.
And I dropped links to Ham Nation and all these channels. I want you all, if you're not subscribed to Dane and Jeff and Sebastian and Tim, go subscribe to them. Go tell Ham Nation that the Kids Table sent you. We'll see you next week.
All right. 73, everybody.
Bye.
73s.
Yeah.